I welcome everybody to the second week of our real estate investment opportunities for civil servants webinar. And today we'll be understanding real estate investments, type, returns, and how it works. Last week we talked about investment basic every teacher should know. We talked about stocks market, we talked about treasury bills, we talked about bond. We talked about how to buy shares in big company like Dangote Refinery and the likes, Access Bank and the likes. We talked about those things. So today we are talking about real estate investment. So let's proceed. What is real estate investment? Real estate investment is using land or property as a tool to generate income or grow wealth. As a tool to generate income or grow wealth. Tool, mark the word tool, as a tool to generate income or grow wealth. Let me tell you one secret. There is no rich man currently existing or that have existed in the past that did not have a real estate portfolio. And let me give you a real life scenario. If you are going to Abeokuta, if you are going to Abeokuta, before you reach the governor's office, you are going to Abeokuta, you will see an estate named President Mahmoud Buhari's estate. Now, if you now pass the governor's house, the governor's office, you will see another estate called Obasanjo's estate, President Obasanjo's estate. And we all know that President Obasanjo also has a farm estate. So can you see? Every rich man on earth have a real estate portfolio. Dangote has, Otedola has, name them. They all do. They all have. So, real estate is also a tool whereby you can use to grow wealth. A lot of people think that when you talk about real estate, it's just about buying land. No, real estate is not just about buying land. It is about generating income from landed property or building property. Real estate is about generating income. How you generate income from your landed property or your building property. That's the goal. The goal is not just to own land property or own building property. The goal is to generate income. These properties you own must generate income for you, and that is what we are here to discuss in today's webinar. That's what we are here to discuss in today's webinar. So, in real estate is generally divided into two main categories, which is landed property and building property. When you talk about landed property, you talk about bare land, farmland, estate plots. And when you talk about building properties, you talk about houses, apartments, shop, shortlets. Each categories have their different income strategy. Each categories has their different income strategy. Now, before anybody goes into real estate, let's talk them. What's the purpose of going into? Why do you want to invest in real estate? What's the purpose for investing? Are you going short term or long term? Are you going short term or long term? Yeah. So that's what I asked them. Now let's look at what short term investment mean and long term investment mean. Long term real estate investment means holding property for a long period of time, which is 5 years upward. An example is land banking, rental property, agricultural farming cycle, commercial lease. And how do you make money from it? Capital appreciation, return, rental income over time, agricultural harvest cycle. That's how you earn from a long-term investment. How do you earn from a short-term investment? What is short-term investment? It focuses on quicker cash flow. An example of it is land flipping, short-term apartment, which is Airbnb. We have hostel accommodation, agriculture, fast cycle farming, cassava, maize, and vegetable. Hostel accommodation is a very good and lucrative real estate investment, especially around school area. around university area. The university cannot provide accommodation for all their students. So cannot provide accommodation for all their students. So you can come in as a landlord. So you can get, for instance, you can get a room self-contained, room, kitchen, toilet, and you just create bunk spaces, bunk bed, 4 people in the room, collect 500k or 400k from each of them. 400k in a year times 4, that's 16, 1.6 million. Cool cash. That's cool money. 1.6 million. That's cool cash. So that's how that works. Now, how do you make money? Short term real estate, requires good location, strong demand, active management, and it gives quicker income, but it requires more involvement. It requires you to be more involved in it. Now, let's look at other types of real estate investment. Other type of real estate investment is commercial property, like shops, offices, warehouse, and this gives higher rental return but requires more capital. We also have real estate investment trust. Last week I was talking about platform you can invest through. If you go through Piggyvest, you will see real estate investment trust. What does this mean? You invest in property through the stock market. You don't need to buy or own a physical land. You don't need to buy or own a physical property. All you need is just invest your money, and you earn from dividends. And what you earn dividend from property income. You earn dividend from property income. Now we are down to the main goal of today's webinar: how real estate generates passive income. You want real estate to generate passive income for you. So the question is, what is passive income? Passive income means you earn without working daily. Real estate can generate passive income through, let's look at ways in which real estate can generate passive income. Number one, we have rental income. Rental income, hostel accommodation also falls on rental income. You rent out your property and you earn yearly. Lease agreements. You lease your land to farmers, companies, developers, telecom tower. It's not only land you lease, you can also lease your building. You can also lease your building. You can lease your building. Yes, you can lease your building property. So, and we also have the farm management system. You buy land, you buy a farmland, then professionals manage it, and you earn from harvest without having to farm yourself. We are in the 21st century. You don't have to do everything yourself. You don't have to do everything yourself. And funny enough, through this agricultural real estate investment, you can. This is the easy, or let me say, this is the easiest way to get started in your real estate investment, in your real estate portfolio. This is the easiest way to get started in your real estate portfolio. This is the easiest way to get started in your real estate portfolio. Let me tell you one secret that most of us don't know. I call it the 10 years the 10-year cycle. Now, I'll go back in time. For every 10 years there is a trend. When I mean trend, there is an opportunity for every 10 years. Now, in the 80s, in the 80s, in the 80s, there was a trend for logistics. There was a trend for logistics. There was a trend for farming. There was a trend for logistics. There was a trend for farming, and there was those two, logistics and farming. In the 90s, there was a trend for banking. That's where you hear banker, 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 banker. There was a trend for banking. That's the financial institution was trending. What what other thing was trending? Engineers back then were also trending. What other thing was trending in the 90s? I know banking was trending, engineers were trending. That was in the 90s. In the 2000 to 2010, what was trending? Telecommunication. Telecommunication was trending. Mobile phone, mobile phone, mobile phone, mobile phone. That's what was trending. Telecommunication was trending. In the from 2010, what started trending? Crypto, crypto, crypto. Crypto started trending in 2010. Tech, crypto, tech, crypto started trending from 2010 upward. Now we enter 2020. What started trending in 2020? Real estate, real estate, real estate, real estate, fintech, real estate, fintech, real estate, fintech. That's when you start seeing OP, Money Point, Pampay, real estate, fintech, real estate, fintech started trending. Tech is still trending. That's from 2020 down from now 2025. You know what is trending in 2025? Stock market, stock market, stock market, stock market, agricultural investment, agricultural investment. So for every 10 years, there is something trending. So don't fall behind. Like what I say, do not fall behind. So I say, I mean, I'm saying do not